space. So, Rick, I'm turning it over to you.
All right, here we are on the daily antidote of song, and people are coming into the room. And the first person I see is Jaden. And we have to thank Jaden because she's going to help us out through this whole thing. And of course, Joe is over there. Joe Rassi is there. And we have our special guest, but I'm going to hold on for that. And we have Sheila. Oh, Sheila Ginsburg is over there. And Annette. And Margaret, and we have Nancy, and Kathy, and Susan, and Bonnie, and Luda, and Steve, and Michelle, and Ruth from Birmingham, UK. Okay. And Dan Walker from Vienna, Virginia, and Kevin in DC, and Susan G, and Carolina in DC, and Jenny in Suffolk, UK, and Pauline in Newcastle, UK. We have a lot of friends from overseas, and Amanda and Miles over there in Michigan. I don't know where she's at in Michigan, but she's somewhere in Michigan. And Nancy. All right. And Dan, let's see. And somebody is over here, Lorraine, and oh, people are disappearing on me and coming back up again. Let me just see here. Let me go up to the second round because they're coming in. Let's see. And Steve and Ruth in Birmingham and Dan Walker. Did we get you? And Susan and Caroline? And boy, these things are coming in. And there's a cow, but we won't talk about the cow. And Jim Scott and Anne and Marilyn and Smicky in Maryland, and Christina and Bob are in Maryland. Boy, a lot of people in Maryland. And Deborah in Kentucky, into the bluegrass state. And Tom in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. And Amanda and Miles are still out there in Michigan. And we have a deer over here. And we have Shara in New Hampshire. And we have somebody in Florida, Kate, safe in Florida. And we have Linda Rose, okay. And we have Gary over in Solution Finders, okay. And we have Carol, and let's see, did I miss anybody? Joe, am I lost?
You did a very, very lovely job. Thank you so much. I think we should go ahead and acknowledge Christiana's beautiful holding up of the day 912 sign. And we always need our sign holders to remind us what day it is today. Thank you, Christiana. Jim Harkless is here. Hi, Jim. Nice to see you. And I'm not sure if we got Lynn in Connecticut. Nancy's Irish cow, we might as well talk about. Deborah in Kentucky. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. Rick, I'm turning it back to you. Anybody we missed, we'll get you on the way out.
Well, the daily antidote of song is a community. And that's why when Joe started this idea of welcoming everybody, we're welcoming you into this sacred space that we are going to share for this small time together. And it will probably take you the rest of the day to process everything that you're going to hear today because we have something special. Now, I know a lot of the people, like myself, we were all glued to the TV watching Ken Burns, the USA and the Holocaust. And that story has meaning to a lot of the people in the room for all different kinds of reasons. And we're going to take it into a whole different place today. So this is going to be more of a kind of educational, thought-provoking time than just a fun time because we've brought back my wonderful friend Katy Carr. And Katy is a very special person, not only a singer and a musician and a storyteller, but she's also an activist and one of those people who doesn't just, sing a song, but she goes out and does the work. And, we're really honored to have Katy Carr join us again today on the Daily Antidote of Song. And Katy, when I first heard of you, I Googled you and I didn't know what it was going to be, but I listened to the song about the commander's car and it brought tears to my eyes. It's such a very strong song, but the story behind it and your involvement with the person who is actually profiled in this song. And there's a wonderful film. I want to make sure that you talk about the film that goes with the song. So we are going to get ready for a little bit of history that we did not know about it. So I'm going to present Katy Carr, all the way from England.
I'm really honoured. Hello, everybody, at Daily Antidote of Song. Welcome, everybody here. I'm so excited to join you again, and thank you, Joe and Rick, for having me. I'm speaking live here. It's 5 o'clock in London town, England, and so it's always a joy to be with you. Yes, I mean today is a very special day because the day after my muse in Poland was born, Kazimierz Piechowski, passed away on the 15th of December 2017, but he was born on the 3rd of October 1919, and he was 98 when he died. He changed my life when I met him in 2010, which is over 12 years ago now. I went to Poland knowing very, very little Polish. My mother was Polish, she passed away recently as well, rest in peace. And I went to Poland with very, very limited knowledge of the language and of the history. I didn't know anything really about the history of Central Europe, apart from obviously the big landmarks like Auschwitz, but I didn't really know the ins and outs of these things because my attention had been involved with other areas. And so when I got to meet Kazik, he started to share with me his experience of Second World War experience in Poland, an untold story that people had not heard about and a lot of the world do not know. And it really was the key for me to uncover, rediscover my Polish roots and find a passion for Poland and the Polish experience during the Second World War, which can only be described as an absolute brave experience. People there were extremely brave, having two aggressors attacking the country. So on the 1st of September 1939, Germany attacked, and on the 17th of September 1939, the Soviet Union attacked the country due to the Molotov-Ribbentrop Agreement, which was signed 7 days prior to the beginning of Second World War. And Kazik, his experiences encouraged me and inspired me to write 50 songs inspired by that horrific and brutal attack of an innocent country. So the first in the trilogy of albums that I wrote was Pashport, and this really is a battered copy. I apologise, it's a battered copy, but it is a copy. It's an album inspired by my meeting Kazik. There he is. I don't know if you can see him. That's me with Kazik at the Polish Embassy. In 2011, I invited Kazik as a special guest and had Arts Council funding here from the UK to invite him over, and we developed a number of events and we were able to share his remarkable story and his life story during that time. What happened to Kazik on the 1st of September 1939 was that he was in a small town in Szczew, which is about 30 kilometres away from Gdansk, but by the 4th of September the Germans had entered his town and they had murdered his school friends, and in the town square they'd murdered all the civil servants, the teachers, the civil servants of the town, the elite of the town. And so Kazik and his friend decided to escape, but it wasn't long until the Gestapo caught up with him and he was imprisoned for 9 months in these notorious prisons that were operated by Germans he ended up on the second transport to Auschwitz, which was the 20th of June 1940. And to cut a long story short, on the 20th of June 1942. He escaped in Rudolf Hess's car, the camp commandants of Auschwitz. And that was the reason, primary reason why I was able to meet him, because he survived not only a notorious concentration camp of Auschwitz, but he also survived the Soviet regime post-Second World War and the Cold War, where he was imprisoned for a further 10 years for his involvement in the Polish resistance post his escape from Auschwitz. So the meeting with Kazik was a very illuminating meeting for me, and it is documented in my film Kazik and the Commander's Car, which is available on YouTube. Actually, you can find this now. I put it on YouTube for the 80th anniversary of his escape, which it is this year, 2022. And there you'll see the first meeting I had with Kazik, and the first time I present my song to him. What was remarkable is that I actually created this song for my third album, Coquette, and I didn't think that Kazik was alive when I wrote the song, because I had seen a reconstruction of his escape on a TV channel in Poland when I was visiting my auntie, and I was really, really moved by this. I think Kazik's trying to get him because I have a banging on the door. It's a draft, so I'm just going to secure this for 1 second, Rick. But I hope that answers someone. I think he's trying to come in. Yes.
Katy, I think that the thing is that we're about to hear this story, and I think what we can do, Katy, is before you tell the story, sing the song, and then we will kind of discuss about the actual what took place and how he escaped.
Okay, sorry, I thought I've probably given so much information, so apologies. But yes, it's a very it's a story of great importance to me in my life, because it changed my life, but I'll come to that afterwards. So I'm going to sing Commander's Car, inspired by the last 80 metres of his escape from Auschwitz, when the gate, the final checkpoint gate is still down, and he has to do something remarkable to lift the gate so that he can escape with the other 3 political prisoners. And yes, thank you, Jojo. Love all your info. That's a relief. It's a very long introduction to a song. But yeah, so this is Commander's Car. By the way, I'm playing a keyboard here. So you won't see my hands, but I promise you it is me playing. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away, we gotta drive away, we gotta drive away. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away, we gotta drive away, we gotta drive away. 50 meters is all that lies between us. Come to me, baby, come to me and save me. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away, we gotta drive away, we gotta drive away. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away, we gotta drive away, we gotta drive away. Take my hand, love, out of this darkness. This Polish bird must fly, and he won't be back again, and he won't be back no more. Meters, 80 metrów, 50 meters, 50 metrów, 18 meters, 18 metrów, 50 a commander's car, out in 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 a commander's car. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. Kazik, zrób coś. Kazik, zrób coś. Kazik. Ocknąłem się, faktycznie, przecież oni na mnie liczą. My heart it beats and my palms are wet. This Polish bird has flown. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. Drive, drive, we gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. Drive, drive, we gotta drive. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away.
Well, Katy, I think, you could feel the tension in your song. That's the whole thing. You know, that idea. You don't really hear a lot about people being able to escape from Auschwitz. So that is the first thing that kind of goes in your mind. But then the question is, how did they do it?
Well, so Kazik had been in Auschwitz for 2 years and had experienced the absolute how to describe this, the extremities of human experience and pain within that camp. Before he died, he even explained to me more atrocities that happened to him and his physical body, which is why he couldn't have children. So I had lots and lots of information shared with me. He was very open with sharing with me, and he saw the song as an instrument of healing, so that he described it on BBC News as an instrument to help him lift the final barrier, which was to unblock his Auschwitz syndrome. So he talks about the Auschwitz syndrome in the film that I created, which was called Kazik and the Commander's Car, where he describes there are 2 lives, one life there and one life here. And so it was a very complicated and dangerous escape, because obviously if it didn't work out, they would not be alive now.
Well, Katy, can you
Anybody.
take us back to that moment, like the day before, and then the actual moment when they escaped?
All right, how long have you got?
No, try to simplify it so we
I'll
can.
try to do it like
Yeah,
well, it's a
but try
long
to
life,
give us the idea of, like, they were planning this escape. Now,
right?
who was involved?
Okay, so you have 4 that were involved, but really there were a lot more involved, because there was the cavalry officer Witold Pilecki, who was one of the main uh, leaders of the Polish resistance in Auschwitz. Lots of people don't know about that, but there was 1,000-person army as a resistance army in Auschwitz, but they just didn't get the go-ahead to act upon their resistance, and they were curbed by the Germans. You may have heard about him because there is a book called The Volunteer, which I don't really agree with the title of the book, because Rotmistrz Pilecki, cavalry officer, was an astute military professional, not a volunteer, but you may have heard of his story through that channel. So Rotmistrz Pilecki was the first person to write the report on Auschwitz in 1941, which, as you know, the Allies didn't really want to accept for a long time. So what happened was Kazik was set on a mission. There was a special letter that needed to be delivered to Warsaw, and if their escape was successful, they could deliver this letter. So there were 4 political prisoners. There was Genek, who was a car mechanic, and he was working in the SS garage as a slave, but obviously they had to have someone to mend their cars. So he said to Kazik, look, a couple of weeks or maybe a month before, like, I think we can escape. And Kazik was like, what are you talking about? In Polish it's wariacki papierów. This is crazy. Look, there's barbed wire, there's fences, there's electric fences everywhere. How can we escape? This is crazy. But Kazik was very brave, because he had been a Boy Scout, had been the top scout in the scouting system in Poland, an Eagle Scout. So he was very adventurous, and he suggests that his ability to think about an escape came from scouting, came from learning about how to exist outside and outdoors, that from the age of 9 he was very much involved with his friends, and they even swam over. They had these missions as scouts to swim over a river. So he was already built up to be quite a resilient character, and he was a Polish patriot, which meant that he believed in the freedom of Poland, and he believed in the independence of Poland rather than it being an occupied territory by Germany and the Soviet Union. So there was a fire and a fury within him. He would have been about 21 years old, well, at that point he was a starved prisoner, because I've seen a picture of him where he's absolutely starving. I mean, it's a wonder he could do anything, but he managed to survive in Auschwitz for 2 years through various, lucky coincidences, but it had been a very, 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 very brutal place. So where are we?
So we're right there. We don't have a lot of time because you have to sing the song again. So Katy, here we are. So we have Kazik, and how the auto mechanic is there. The plan is they're going to steal the commander's car.
Borrow, not steal. He's not.
Okay,
He
they brought it back. Okay,
yeah,
so
borrow.
he's going to borrow the car.
Borrow the car. Yeah.
And how did they get? Did they find uniforms?
Yeah, so Kazik was sent on. I've so much information here. Kazik was sent on a mission. He was told off for something. He had to go to report to the SS man or something. And on the way, he saw the costume, the uniform cupboard, and they saw him. The SS man saw him looking at the costume, the uniform cupboard, and he was beating him down to the ground. So this happened like 2 weeks before the escape. But he got a quick view of everything. He could see all the trousers and everything, and the jackets. And the SS man was beating him with a stick or something, saying, "You Polish pig, what are you doing in here?" And he was like taking a mental note of everything. So he knew where the costume cupboard was. I say costume, the uniform.
Uniform. Yeah.
And so they had this very, very, it was a very elaborate plan that depended on every second counting. So, from getting into the warehouse on the Saturday, because it was a Saturday at 12 noon, and to get to the car, to make sure the car runs, and to look like SS men. It's a miracle they looked like SS men, because they were starving prisoners, but somehow they obviously looked elegant in some way in those uniforms, and he could speak perfect German, because the history of Poland is a tough one. Prior to the Second World War, prior to the First World War, Poland had been in the partition between 3 aggressors, so the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Russian, and the Prussians. So in the Prussian, you'd have to speak German, and he was part of the Prussian Empire, so he was able to speak, perfect German. So he was able to shout at the soldiers,
Okay, Katy. Let's take it from here. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Now we've got it. We know where the uniforms are.
Right.
They go in and they put on these uniforms. They go in and they borrow this car. borrow the car. They're
Yeah.
in the car. They're driving, and their minds are going crazy because they know
Yeah.
at any moment they could be discovered and they can be killed on the spot. And
Yeah.
they're coming right to that gate, and it's still closed. And what happens?
Well, the door in the car opens that way, not like a modern car. So it opened that way. So he's able to stand up and he shouted some obscenities, which I won't repeat now, but very, very aggressive words in German. That was something like, open the effing gates, otherwise I'll open you up. Something like that, but very aggressive. So the guard on the gate didn't like take any chances because they were so aggressive with him, and obviously that German thing, obviously aggression worked with him. So he opened the gate and boom,
And
they
they're
drive off.
driving. And like,
Yeah.
what did Kashek say? What was that moment like when they first left the camp?
Well, it was euphoria, but they had a way to go. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, it was euphoria because within 2 hours of his escape, all the roads had been blocked, and Rudolf Hess had actually, put out a search warrant for all of their faces because obviously when they came to Auschwitz, they logged every detail of their bodies because they were really like, you know,
Right.
mental, and they used to, they would mark even Kajik's apple thing in his thing in the what do you call it, the neck.
Yeah.
So they were, yeah, they're like, the Germans were really like,
Now this, Katie, this car was fast.
yeah, fast.
So that was the thing, was this car was extremely quick. And
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons that they were able to get out. So I think at this point, we're there. We're all there. Play the song. Let everybody be at that moment. Here we are, folks. We're ready. They're at the gate. Katie, play the song
You want me to play it again?
right now.
Okay, do you want me to do it from the music video? No, do
If
you
you
want me
want to
to
do
sing
it,
it?
if you want to do it from the music video, go ahead.
What do people want to watch the music video? Because that's really exciting. It's a
Yeah,
little
do
bit
that. Do that. Because we only have a little bit of time left. So put on
okay.
music
So,
video.
Joe, can we get it played from the music video of the YouTube, and then people see that I'm quite a multi-layered artist here.
Yes, I
Got
can.
lots of instruments.
See, the whole thing, Katie, is you
I
want
don't
to
know if it's
give the
possible.
moment. We're setting up the moment. So to take the
Right, so
people at
he's
this
just
moment.
before the gate, basically, in my song. He's 80 metres before the gate, and I thought it lasted like 2 minutes, this moment, but according to Kaji, it lasted
I was
about
having relationship issues with my old bank. It was
like
just
it wasn't a long thing, it was like
So
5 seconds
I moved
at
to
the
SoFi
max.
Checking
It's
and
like a
Savings.
sec.
Get 2.00%
So,
interest and earn up to
yeah.
$300 when you set up direct
We've got
deposit.
a commercial.
Sorry, gang. All
Well, that's
right.
okay. That's life, man. All right. Here
Yeah,
we go.
it's like life or death, basically.
All
All right,
right.
wait, no, I need you guys to talk for another minute because I can't put the
Yeah,
commercial on our
no
actual.
No,
problem.
it's okay. It's okay. It's worth it. Believe me,
No,
folks.
no, I mean, I
When
literally
Get
can't.
your money
So
right.
you guys talk for another
All
minute.
right,
okay.
so the most remarkable thing about meeting Kazik for me is that he opened my Polish roots so that I could understand. I love that comment, by the way. Sorry, you would make a great professor. That's really funny. That's really funny. I need a laugh. So, yeah. So, the great thing about meeting Kazik was that he was able to open up my own Polish roots. And the most remarkable thing when he was alive was that I discovered my grandfather had escaped from both Dachau and Auschwitz. I'm sorry. So it was the most remarkable moment, and I recorded that moment when I told Kazik, and he said that he had goosebumps up his arms because he said that's the reason. Obviously, I was meant to meet him. Yeah, so my grandfather was Auschwitz prisoner 22661, and he had escaped in 1942 in February, 3 or 4 months before Kazik. So there is a lot of synchronicity here, and the Polish nation has opened their arms to me and
Okay,
has.
Katie, we have only a few minutes left.
Yeah.
Play the song.
Ready? Here we go. Let's try it. Tell me if it's working. It's not working, right? No. Okay.
All right,
Keep
play the song.
Play the song.
Talk
Play
amongst
the song.
yourselves.
Go.
Or-
So it's wonderful, like, to be able to share this music video with you, because when Kajik saw it, he's actually in it, by the way. That's why I want you to see it, because he's like in it for like a second. And we created the Steyr 220 car, which was an Austrian car. I did at the time ask Steyr if they wanted to get involved with this project, but I don't think they wanted to be involved with a connection with Auschwitz. But yeah, it was a car that was used a lot by the Germans. So it's just Steyr, I think it's called. And Kajik really saw this car as a best friend. And he strokes it in my film that you can watch.
Can we get the film going or not? Joe, is the film going to be are they able to show the film?
Yeah, you can go onto YouTube. Do you want me to find the link for you? There's a link.
Yeah,
on
put the
YouTube.
link in there so that people can watch it, because I don't think we can
Right.
actually. Is it not working, Joe?
It's not working yet, but we've got the link. Let's try again here.
Well, don't worry. I mean, I can.
All right, I'm gonna try one more time.
I'm going to try one more time, because we at the Daily Antidote of Song, we don't give up.
No. We should never give up. Never.
Never give up.
Okay,
Never give up.
So Kajik's story is like really, really an amazing story, because it's so dramatical. You don't often see. Here we go.
Here we go.
Well done.
Drive, we gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. Drive, we gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. We gotta drive away. Drive, we gotta drive away.
Well, Katie, it's amazing. An amazing video.
There's Kajik, you see. That was his picture as an Auschwitz prisoner.
Ready to start eating healthier? Meet Kachuk.
He was
Kachuk is
in that was his first picture in Auschwitz.
Well, I think that we've all had quite an experience here today on the Daily Antidote of Song. We've learned a lot about some history, some sad things, but the resilience that we've also seen with these brave people who escaped from Auschwitz, and how you were able to take their story, a story that was not known, and brought it to a bigger audience than they could have ever imagined. Then, and you continue to do your good work in your singing and going to Ukraine and delivering food and being there for the people, not just singing the song, but doing the work. So it's an honor to have you here with us today on the Daily Antidote of Song.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. And yes, we stand with Ukraine. Putin's war on this innocent country is just horror and brutal. And my next project is to highlight Soviet aggression and Russian aggression in the actual time that we're living in, because my songs were written from a point of retrospective, so a retrospective look at history, whereas now we have this actual horror. And who could believe in 2022 that we would have an Auschwitz happening right now? So yes, this is the next year of my work, which is dedicated to the women of Ukraine. I think they're very brave, and there was one particular woman who was unfortunately brutally murdered who has taken my interest, and I am looking now for funding to do that project, and I've written a whole album of songs. So I'm looking to using my skills, having looked at this particular situation with Poland and transferring them into a project that will hopefully help the sharing of the brutality that is happening currently in Ukraine. And Poland has taken in 6 million refugees now. So I am going tomorrow to Poland to visit refugees, and I've made lots of friends there. I'm learning the Ukrainian language, and I am so honoured that they have invited me into their community, and I'm doing everything opposite to Putin. So there you go.
Well, you are a brave woman and a fighter, and I think that we all can learn from the people in Ukraine, people also the people, the young women, and then all the women over in Iran at this point who are standing up. I think that there's change is in the air. We have to keep up the good fight. You're doing a good job. Where can people learn about, if they want to learn more about your music and learn about your activities, where should they go?
Well, the best thing to do is to email me, because every month I have an email list, and I send it out, and I spend a lot of time making my email lists, newsletters, and I put in all of the activities of every month, and then I copy and paste it onto my website. So if you go onto my website or email me at info@katycarr.com, and my website is katycarr.com, you can ask me, and I will return the email to join my email list, and I'd be more than delighted to send you the information that I'm doing. I haven't really delivered any information about my next album because it is a bit of a secret, but I have declared what it is about. Probably the first people in the world that probably know, apart from my close compatriots. So yes, I am definitely inspired to write this album, and I've written it actually in the last couple of weeks now, and it's been translated into Ukrainian. So yeah, I'm excited about this. Obviously, it's coming from a very, very dark, brutal place, but hopefully it gives some some light and in this horror of this Russian aggression of I don't know what he's trying to do, repeat the Cold War or something,
Mm,
whatever, dictatorship.
mm.
So yes, so we are here to do everything opposite to him.
Well, Katy Carr, what can you say? I think that there's probably not a dry eye.
Well,
I mean, it was
I'm
an
a granddaughter.
incredible,
Yeah, I'm a
incredible
grand.
story
Mm.
and incredible, teaching us about the history. And you'll have to come back again when you're working on your new projects, right, Joe? Joe, you're still there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. Absolutely, Katie. We love having you here, and
Such
it's such a great lesson. It's such a good time in our world right now for us to be inspired by people who really, really, really put themselves out there. Maybe helps us to remember any ways in which we can be putting ourselves out there to. So thank you for bringing us this story, and thank you for all the amazing work you're doing. That's just really incredible.
I'm just so excited to be able on this platform, and to have like be a third generation Holocaust escapee. And yes, I've just had a question here. LMG in Connecticut, is that CT Connecticut? Wants to know how Katie's grandfather escaped from two camps. Yeah, with balls, if I'm allowed to say. Two fingers up, two fingers up to that horrible regime. So yeah, such a joy to be here, and I'm glad that you survived my British humour. I hope hope I can return.
Oh no, Professor Katie Carr, thank you so much. Your humor is awesome. So wait, I have to do a quick spotlight on Christiana. And have the two of you up right now because, like, obviously she joined the same costume club that you've got going there. So what can you tell us, Katie, quickly about the hat and the?
Oh, this hat was designed for me to do a special commemorative concert by Victoria Shearing, a British milliner here in London, and she made the Polish wings here. It's supposed to be like a flag because the Polish flag has white and red, so it means a lot to me because it's like the eagle of Poland, which is the white. It's symbolising the white feathers of the eagle of Poland, which I wear every day. It's
Wow.
a Polish eagle with a crown. Obviously, during the Cold War, the Soviets removed the crown, so you'll see, eagles without a crown. But Poland is an independent state, independent country, a Commonwealth, and has, a really rich history of lots of incredible experiences pre this, 20th century nightmare. So yeah, so there's lots to learn. If anyone wants to learn more about it, then I'm really happy, and yeah, I'm so happy to share
Thank you.
my music with you over the pond. There you go.
Beautiful.
I
Yeah, we're
suppose you've
so
all been
lucky.
watching the funeral and everything of the Queen, have you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're so lucky to be able to be in here learning from you. So she just
Right.
kind of threw out a challenge. Can we see how many people in the room would like to learn anything more about anything that Katie has to teach us? Yeah. So that's what I figured. We have a pretty good, interesting University of Daily Antidote, actually, is what we call ourselves. So, all right, I'm going to kick it back over to Rick to thank Katie again. Everybody,
And I
please.
love Christiana's hat. I love it. I love it. I love it. Everyone should wear a hat when I come next time, right?
There you go. All right,
Wear a
she got
hat.
a challenge. I hear that challenge. All right,
Winning
everybody,
hat.
get your hats ready. We'll have Katie
I
back
got my
again. Rick,
hat.
I'm going to toss it. Yeah, Mr. Hatted Rick, I'm tossing it over to you for the goodbyes. And thanks again, Katie.
Well, like I said, I'm really honored to be able to host Katie, and I will be back here on the Daily Antidote of Song on the 8th, and we're going to remember our dear friend Kevin Locke, who's been in this room with us, and Kevin just passed away a few days ago, unexpectedly, and it's hit a lot of us very hard. And I think that we're going to try to talk about Kevin. We might be able to show some little films about him. He's the one who I learned the flute from, and I'm still kind of in shock from all of this. But we will remember him on that day. So I just wanted to say to everyone, thank you for sticking with us. You're you know perseverance, of sticking with us got you to be able to watch the video. And thank you for Jaden for being able to get Katy's video up there. Let's hear it for Jaden doing all the hard work, the hard lifting. So I think with that, we're going to, everybody, we're going to say a special goodbye to Katy Carr until the next time that she comes into the room. And I'm sure that won't be too long from now. And until then, Joe, did you want to say anything to round things out?
Just going to remind everybody that we have an open mic today from 2 to somewhere around 3:15 or 3:30. And so please come prepared to share songs. We didn't ask people to sign up in advance. And I will say I'm not feeling as celebratory as I was when we picked today's date. So maybe we'll begin with a moment of silence for Kevin and have a picture of Kevin that we can sort of remind everybody who he was in case folks don't remember. And then hopefully some songs that maybe actually in some way or another will pay tribute to the fact that we're a little bit torn up, we hope. So thanks everybody for being here. Hope to see you all at 2 o'clock. And thanks again, Rick and Katy. Absolutely beautiful. And Rick, you want me to take the goodbyes or you want to do it?
I'm trying to see if I can get the gallery view here, and let's see what we got here. So first of all, once again, let's everyone say goodbye to Katy Carr over there in England. All right, and we'll say goodbye to Jaden, our tech, what do you call yourself? A tech master?
We should call herself that. If Jaden was actually the one trying to put the video up, it probably would have happened a lot faster than it was unfortunately me, which is why it took so long. So Jaden, I don't know why I didn't let you do it. That'd have been genius.
All right, well, and thanks for Joe because she stuck it out and we did get to see the video. And we're going to say goodbye now. Goodbye to Annette. All right, and goodbye to Susan Miller in Seattle. Goodbye, Bonnie. Goodbye to Steve and Michelle and Ruth in Birmingham and Kevin in DC and Susan G and Carolina in DC. Goodbye now. Pauline in Newcastle and Deli and Anne in Maryland and Christina with the hat and Bob in Maryland there and Deborah. We have, let's see, it's moving around. And goodbye to Deborah in Kentucky and Mabel Bear in Massachusetts. Okay, and James. Okay, goodbye, James, for today. All right, and Martha. Goodbye, Martha. We'll see you tomorrow. And Luda in Victoria, BC. And James Dundas and Victoria, BC. And Storm. Storm's not wearing his hat, but Storm is, say goodbye, Storm. All right. And Margaret Wells. Okay. And Dan Walker and Diane Weinstein and Bob and Bear in, there's somebody hiding under the screen. I can't see them. And we're going to go to screen number 2 to say goodbye. And Pauline in Newcastle. Goodbye. And let's see, did we miss anybody here? Jenny and Kathy and Aloysius there. Goodbye over in Western Massachusetts. And Gary and Kathy and LMG in Connecticut and Kevin in DC and Sherry. All right. And Jane and Kate, safe in Florida. I'm glad you're safe. And Fred and Sandy E. And I think that's it for the ones I see. So until next time, this is Rick Polari right here on the Daily Antidote of Song, wishing everybody a very, very good day.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you again, Katy, and thank you everybody in the room. And goodbye, actually, to Cricket. Maybe we missed. I'm not sure. And bye to Kathy. And bye to Facebook Live. Thanks so much for being with us here today. And we're really glad to see all of you. And yeah, I only just learned. Thank you, Rick, for letting us know about Kevin. And it was a very big blow right before we were opening doors. So I know a lot of us probably have a little thinking we need to do. So head on out and hopefully head back in again around 2, gang. And lots of love to you all.